Inflation is spiraling out of control, going from almost zero to a mind-bending 8.3% as of late 2022. This means prices have gone up on everyday items, particularly food and energy costs. The good news is that many states are now cutting checks to help its residents cover costs like household items and utilities. And according to the research I've compiled, this effort is mostly funded by tax surpluses. It's in the form of either automatic rebates or programs targeted to beat inflation. The effort is mostly funded by tax revenue surpluses, either in the form of automatic rebates or programs targeted to beat inflation. Either way, if you are a resident of one of these 18 states, stick around because you may be eligible for a check. And today I'm going to go through each of these states to show if you can qualify and how to claim your check. Now let's go get our money. Number 1, California. Up to $1,050 tax rebate. Known as the middle class tax refund, millions of Californians will receive a tax rebate paid out in cash, either as a direct deposit or debit card, totaling up to $1,050. Now, based on my latest research, the income eligibility is $250,000 for individuals and $500,000 or less for heads of family or heads of household. Recipients also have to have been a California resident for at least 6 months during 2020, and they must be residents when these payments are issued. More details about eligibility can be found on the state's Franchise Tax Board website. Number 2, Colorado, 750 rebate payments. Known as the Tabor tax refund, by the end of September, most Coloradans will have received a one-time tax rebate paid out as a mailed check totaling $750 for individual filers and $1,500 for joint filers. So eligibility is limited to tax filers who were 18 by December 31st, 2021 and have lived in Colorado for the entirety of 2021. More details can be found on the state's Colorado Cashback website. Number 3, Delaware, $300 rebate payments. The Delaware Relief Rebate Program is mailing one-time $300 relief rebate checks to residents who either filed a 2020 or 2021 tax return or were 18 and older as of December 31st, 2021. Joint filers will receive $600 according to a press release announcing the funding. Now, the first round of these refunds were actually issued back in May to over 600,000 Delaware taxpayers who already filed their 2020 returns. The state provides a website to check your rebate status in case you haven't received it yet. Florida, $450 payments. In July, Governor Ron DeSantis announced one-time $450 stimulus checks to low-income earners already participating in the state's Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program. So families caring for children can qualify for these checks if they are part of what's called the Guardianship Assistance Program. According to the state of Florida, checks will be sent automatically based on a database query by state officials. Number 5, Georgia, $250 rebate payments. In May, Governor Brian Kemp announced one-time tax refunds for residents with a tax liability in the 2020 tax year, provided that they filed state returns for both 2020 and 2021. Single tax filers qualify for funds up to $250, heads of households up to $375, and couples filing jointly up to $500. Most of the funds were sent back in August via direct deposit, and although the state has advised that it may take some time for all these refunds to be processed, the residents can actually still receive these checks if they haven't yet filed a 2021 tax return. More information about refund eligibility is provided on the state's Department of Revenue website. Number 6, Hawaii, $300 rebate payments. In June, Governor David Enge announced one-time tax refunds for Hawaii residents, the total of which varies based on their income for the 2021 tax year. So single filers who earn less than $100,000 or couples who earn less than $200,000 will receive $300 each. The benefit also applies to dependents, which means that a family of 4 will receive $1,200, and taxpayers who earn $100,000 or more, or couples who earn $200,000 or more, each will receive $100 each, which also applies to dependents. Funds were sent out by September 12th, either as a mail check or through direct deposit. However, more details can be found on the State of Hawaii government website. Number 7, Idaho, $300 rebate payments. Earlier this month, Governor Brad Little signed a new bill into law that redirects a state tax surplus into bonus rebates for residents who filed income taxes for both the 2020 and 2021 tax years. Okay, so my latest notes show that the bonus rebate is $300 for individual filers and $600 for joint filers, or 10% of income taxes paid for 2020, whichever is greater. Now, mind you, this is in addition to another rebate program from earlier this year, which pays out $75 per taxpayer or dependent, and 12% of income taxes paid, whichever is greater. Now, again, most of these rebate checks have already been mailed out but the newer bonus checks are currently being processed. To receive the rebates, residents must file their 2020 and 2021 tax returns by December 31st, 2022. Idaho's State Tax Commission website has more details. Number 8, Illinois, $100 rebate payments. As part of the state's $1.8 billion family relief plan, this month's residents began to receive one-time income tax rebates totaling $50 for single filers who earn less than $200K in 2021 and $100 for joint filers who earn less than $400K in 2021. Okay, so tax filers will receive $100 per dependent and for a maximum of 3 dependents, okay? Payments will be either direct deposited or mailed via check, and you can find more information on the Illinois Revenue State website. Now, there's actually an additional payment that was recently announced worth up to $300 for homeowners if the gross income does not exceed $500,000 for joint filers or $250,000 for other returns. There's a press release that was recently announcing this funding. Payments were sent via mail or direct deposit beginning September 12th, but it will take roughly 8 weeks for everyone to receive the funds. Refund status can be checked on the Illinois State website. Number 9, Indiana, $325 rebate payments. As part of the state's automatic taxpayer refund law, single and joint tax filers for tax year 2020 will receive one-time rebates of $125 and $250 respectively, regardless of income. Most residents actually receive those refunds early this summer via direct deposit or check. And August, the Indiana legislature passed another round of rebates for $200 for single filers and $400 for joint filers. So because of this, residents might receive a check in the mail for about $325 for individuals and $650 for couples married filing jointly. You can dive into the details on the Indiana State Auditor's website. Number 10, Maine, $850 direct relief payments. Full year residents who file a 2021 tax return by August 31st, 2022 qualify for $850 relief checks mailed to their homes. Now, my latest notes show that eligibility is limited to those who make $100,000 or less as single filers, $150,000 or less for heads of household, and $200,000 or less for couples filing jointly. The first round of relief checks were mailed in June 2022, but checks are going to be sent out until the end of the year. You can find more information on the Office of Governor Janet Mills' website. Number 11, Massachusetts, up to 13% of income may be returned. Last week, Governor Charlie Baker announced that tax rebate checks will be sent to full-year residents who file a 2021 tax return on or before October 17, 2022. The checks are automatic rebates based on state law and will be likely worth 13% of residents' 2021 income tax liability. However, this is still a preliminary estimate according to my notes, and it will be actually finalized in late October. The funds will be automatically sent to residents in November, either through postal mail or via direct deposit. The Massachusetts State website provides more information as well as a calculator to estimate what the rebate might be. Number 12, Minnesota. $750 payments for frontline workers. Some frontline workers could receive a one-time payment of $750 thanks to a bill signed by Governor Tim Walz in early May. So eligible workers must have worked at least 120 hours in Minnesota between March 15, 2020 and June 30th, 2021, and that were not eligible for remote work. More info can be found on the Minnesota State website. Number 13, New Jersey. $500 rebate checks. If you haven't filed a 2020 state tax return, you can still qualify for New Jersey's middle class tax rebate program, which offers a tax credit worth up to $500 for each child under 6. Now, the qualified residents must at least have one dependent child and also have a 2020 tax balance of $1 or more. In June, Governor Phil Murphy announced rebates for property taxes and rent. Homeowners earning less than $150,000 will receive a $1,500 rebate on their property taxes, while those earning between $150,000 and $250,000 will receive $1,000. And renters earning up to $150,000 will receive $450 checks. However, these rebates will not be paid out until spring of next year, with details on how to apply coming late this fall per NJ.com. Number 14, New Mexico. $500 rebates. There are a couple of tax rebates available to New Mexico residents. For 2021 tax filers, an automatic rebate of $500 was sent in July to joint filers and heads of households who earned less than $150,000. A $250 rebate was sent to single filers who earned less than $75,000. Now, another refundable rebate followed in August, and the second disbursement has no income thresholds, according to my notes, with single filers receiving $500 and joint filers and heads of households receiving $1,000. And no action is needed. Residents will receive this by direct deposit or postal mail. New Mexico residents can still claim both of these credits if they haven't yet filed a 2021 tax return, according to New Mexico's Taxation and Revenue website. Number 15, New York. Property tax rebate up to $1,050. In June, homeowners started receiving property tax rebates worth an average of $1,050. The average benefit in New York City is about $425, according to a press release announcing the funding. Okay, so my notes show that to be eligible for this credit, New York residents need to qualify for the 2022 School Tax Relief or STAR program and have an income below $250,000 for the 2020 tax year. More information about eligibility can be found on the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance website. Number 16, Pennsylvania. Tax rebate up to $1,105. As of September, low-income homeowners enrolled in Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program will receive a one-time tax rebate. According to my notes, to be eligible, homeowners must be 65 and older, widows and widowers 50 and older, and people with disabilities 18 and older. Now, this bonus actually follows a previous rebate that residents claimed in 2021. This new rebate will be sent out in September, amounts to about 70% of the original. That means a claimant who received a maximum standard rebate of $650 in 2021 will receive an additional one-time bonus of $455. Now, it's not too late to claim both rebates. The deadline for the first disbursement has been extended to December 31st, 2022. To make a claim for either rebate, visit MyPath, the Department of Revenue's online filing system. Number 17, South Carolina. Tax rebate up to $700. As part of a tax cuts bill, South Carolina residents who have a tax liability in their 2021 tax returns will receive a rebate worth up to $700. So that amount is actually an estimate, and the actual amount will be calculated by the state's Department of Revenue sometime after October 17th. Funds will be sent by December 31st, 2022, and but no sooner than October 17th, which is the deadline to claim the rebate. The money will be delivered via mail, check, or direct deposit. A more detailed explanation can be found on the South Carolina Department of Revenue website. 18, Virginia. $250 rebates. To help families lower the cost of living, Governor Glenn Youngkin recently announced that Virginia residents with a tax liability in 2021 are eligible to receive a one-time rebate of $250 for single filers and $500 for joint filers. So to get this rebate, residents must file their 2021 tax returns by November 1st. Now, residents who filed by July 1st should receive that rebate via direct deposit by October 31st. And according to my latest notes here, residents with tax returns filed between July 1st and November 1st should receive their rebate within 4 months of their filing date. More information can be found on the Virginia Department of Taxation's website. Okay, so if that wasn't enough tax credits for you, be sure to watch my next video on the 7 little-known tax credits that millions of taxpayers miss out on every year.